Hey everybody, Jeff Foliage. This is your episode 9 of As the Foliage Turns for September 24th, 2025. And you may notice that I'm sucking on something here. It's because I've got a bit of a cold. Even the fall foliage doesn't wait for a cold, so I did go out yesterday and drove through. Well, I'll get to that. We're going to cover, thankfully, rain. Are the storms a threat? I'll get into that. I'm going to give you current reports, the best areas for this coming weekend, or what I think might be good areas, and then a PSA on Route 113. Okay, so the rain arrived yesterday. It was a misty rain for the most part. Down south in Massachusetts, they got upwards of an inch or so. Here in Warren, I got 2/10 of an inch. I guarantee it, Mother Nature, not enough. I need a bit more. Okay. It is looking like we should get some more too. But I want to stress, the stress of the trees from the drought is not going away. It's already written. Nothing, whether we get more drought or we get more rain, doesn't matter. Okay. I wish I could say, hey, all fixed. It's going to be a spectacular fall foliage season. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Okay. Temps are warming. You will see some videos here of the rainfall and the temperatures. The overall temperatures are not going to get extremely warm or anything. We're not even going to get to the 80s. We're still in the 70s. But the lows, they're rising up. They were last weekend. We hit the 30s and in a few cases the 20s. Not good. Had our first frost. The temperatures for lows are going to go into the 40s and low 50s, depending on northern New England or southern New England. Okay, not terrible. Not going to particularly move the colors all that fast. So I would expect a slowdown on the fall colors, which is good for those who are asking me constantly about the fall colors still going to be there. I don't know if they're going to be there. If we don't get any winds or rains, I think we're in pretty good shape, at least so far. Storm threats on the horizon. If you watch the Weather Channel or your local news, you'll probably see there's a couple of storms. They haven't been fully named yet. They're not big enough down in the Caribbean. Right now, they generally say it's not looking like they're going to come in and actually hit the U.S. They could, but they're just not sure yet. So we're keeping an eye on it. We don't want to see any of these guys make a landfall. This is hurricane season, so they are expected. We normally have 9 to 11 come through the Atlantic, so keep your fingers crossed. Current reports. We'll start with me, Vermont, and also then we'll go John Rowe. But New Hampshire, Matt DeMayo, he's up there right now today, and he's been sending me reports all day long. Over in Maine, I've got Elizabeth Dow and Karen Reed, and Massachusetts down there, John Burke. So yesterday I only drove 128 miles, not too bad, but I got to see a fair bit of the Northeast Kingdom, and I went from New Hampshire into Vermont on 25C, then Route 10, and then back onto Route 25, and I kind of wound my way past West Topsom and up into Groton State Park, and then Sayon State Park and Sayon Pond at the Sayon Lodge, which is a mouthful. I couldn't even see the hills. But as you'll see with my pictures, I'm going to drop a couple here. And in general, the pictures say it all. It was still, even with the rain was coming down, it was not coming down hard. It was a little more than a mist. You can see it on the water. but it was quite pretty. And there's a couple chairs they put out there, Adirondacks, that are on a little quay, and quite pretty. I think you'll like it. As you can see though, right along the water, there is a good bit of color. There's probably, I think, more color on the hill. Then I drove continuing up, I think it's 232, and towards Owl's Head. I decided, what the heck? I knew I wasn't going to see anything, but people have been asking me over the years, what is the hike to get up to the top of Owl's Head, to get the view of Kettle Pond, and how hard or difficult is it? Well, it took about 8 minutes to walk up there, okay? It's not terrible, but it sure was a lot easier 20 years ago when I did it. I had to stop 3 times to take a breath. Now, people ask me all the time, what kind of trail up to the summit of Owl's Head? Well, I'm going to take a walk up. There's nobody else here. I'm all, as far as I know, all by myself. And we'll see how long this takes. As you can see, it's still drizzly. We're in fog. I'm not going to be able to see anything probably when I get up there. But I brought my camera and we're going to take a look. Okay, so that's it for Owl's Head. Unfortunately, not much of a view today, but it's a still spectacular looking out on the clouds below me, above me, and all around me. So have a wonderful foliage day. I'm going to catch my breath and take a nice slow walk back down the hill. Have a good day. You'll see what the path looks like. It's not too terrible. There's a couple of areas where the stones that they put in at some point are kind of a hike up to get on and over them, but I think it's doable for most people. If you've got issues with mobility, you're not going to want to do it. Just face it. And I'm getting a bit old myself in that area. And then I headed over Mac Mountain Road to Peacham. I like Mac Mountain Road, and it's a dirt road. It's in pretty good shape. There's lots of different roads you can take in that Peacham area, though, that are right off of that. I like the one that sounded like a Maple Road, and I think any of these things would be definitely worth your time. I'll post a few more pictures here. I went up to the Peacham View, which is, you get that by going up to the volunteer fire company, and you park on the far side of the building and away from the building and everything. And then you can walk out to the hill off to the left, and you look down and back towards the village, and you've got the church, the big red barn, a smaller red barn. Unfortunately, today or yesterday, and I think today as well, you can't see the hills. So if the hills are really in color, and I don't think they are yet, I think another week or two, and Peacham will be a lot better than it is. But the hills are the roads around, roadside color. That is the trick here is roadside color is really good, looking really nice. So, keep that in mind. I may show you some pictures. You may see pictures. People are going, oh, everything's in peak, because they're looking at roadside color. But if you look at the hills above the roadside color, that tells a different story. And we like to have the hills behind whatever you're looking at, a covered bridge, a church, it doesn't matter what, gazebo, bandstand, you name it. You want that to be in color with lots of variations. So right now, I don't think Peacham is perfect. It's definitely pretty though, and you'll see that in the pictures. Okay. Matt DeMeo, he's over in New Hampshire today, and he'll be, I think, heading back home tomorrow. Lots of yellows are coming through in Franconia Notch, below Canon Mountain, that area. So the yellows, there's not much in the orange or reds area yet. I think that'll be happening over the next week or two. He stopped in at the over on Crawford Notch at Zealand, and the river is right there, and there's a campground, and lots of reds and oranges there. So it all depends on where you go and what you want to see. Okay, I suspect Crawford Notch may not be peak, quote unquote, but it will probably be pretty. Even now, into this weekend, and it's just probably going to get better with a little bit more time. And it depends on those temperatures. Those are the tricky things to figure out. Over in Maine, Elizabeth Dow, she's way up there in Yarmouth, and there's a lot of drought all along the coast. It was in drought and severe even before we were really talking about it here. Okay, the lots of drought damage on the trees. I would say that it's going to be spotty along the coast. So Acadia is beautiful. Nothing else to be said there. But the fall colors. Talk to the rangers there. Call them up before, if you've got plans to go there. Call up the rangers. They're happy to tell you what they think is going to be happening with the fall colors in Acadia. Karen Reed, she lives over somewhere in northwestern Maine, and she says Eustis, Carabasset, it's behind the times. Usually Eustis, Stratford, that area, the Bigelows, is early, at mid to late September. It's still on the greenish side. So while you can go up, that way, I got a friend that's going to head over that way tomorrow, and I'll see what happens. And I think it's probably got another week or so before we see any serious colors in the northwest section of Maine. Okay, we're going to come back to Vermont and John Rowe. He stopped in at the Bald Hill, and I think over the last few days he's photographed both of those areas, the ponds there, Jobs Pond, Norton Pond, and he said Bald Hill Pond is still coloring up. So roadside is still the best color that you're going to find in that area, especially if you're going up 114. The hills are just slow. Are they going to come in? Don't know. We're going to find out though. Okay. Massachusetts, John Burke down south. He's saying the ponds, wet areas, they got more moisture down there, are showing lots of fall colors in those areas. You might try up in the Berkshires and just see what it looks like. I haven't heard any reports out of North Adams, but that's a possibility. Okay, best areas this weekend. Take your pick. The Kank, Northern White Mountains, is sure to be a good section. Routes 110, Route 2, Route 3, 115. Take a walk out to Pondicherry Wildlife Management Area and see what's going on there. There's so many roads that you can possibly take. The Northeast Kingdom, I think that's going to be prime this weekend. I think any back road driving you do in the Northeast Kingdom is going to be, pretty darn good. Route 100, Route 109. I got no reports for Smuggler's Notch. Route 25 past Topsom, Route 215 past Cabot, Peacham, Danville Road between Peacham and Danville. Don't forget the Green Book Hollow covered bridge in that area, right off that road. There's so many you can possibly take through. I can't name them all, so just take my word for it. I think Northeast Kingdom, Northern White Mountains, that'll keep you going. Oh, and there's a PSA retraction now. Route 113, I said a while back, had been closed on weekends and stuff because they were doing some guardrails and stuff. That's all opened up. So Route 113, Evans Notch, right along the border of Maine and New Hampshire, is now open. But it's, according to Karen, it's probably still very green. So now, with no storms on the horizon, if you're arriving over the next 2+ weeks, I think you're going to be in for a good show. Even 3 weeks out. But the biggest thing is these dry trees are going to, if it get wind, we're going to lose leaves. And so it won't be perfect. Okay. You may notice that I've got some calendars here hanging up behind me. If I can get them in the frame. And there we go. I'll get it in there one way or another. My covered bridge calendar and the Scenic New England calendars are both available at lulu.com. Check the show notes for the link, and go out to my website. If you've got any questions, leave some comments either here on YouTube or out on my blog. I've been getting them both places. I try to follow up as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe here. I'd really appreciate it. It makes my channel worthwhile. If you enjoy these video reports, I'll keep doing them, as long as it seems like people are enjoying them and finding them useful. Okay, so this is Jeff Foliage and episode 9, and as the foliage turns, it seems to be turning. That's a good thing. And just go ahead and have a wonderful, safe fall foliage day.